What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking about random shit. Literally anything that crosses the space between her or my ears. There's not much in mine, but there's a lot in hers. But she is Fierce Females, BigFemVader Ayesha Raymond.
Hi, how you doing? I really hope you can hear me.
I'm good, man. For those who don't know, and I try to keep this away from the podcast, but my son, the 13-year-old, he'll be 14 on Tuesday. Um, yeah, he's COVID negative. I'm COVID negative. So huzzah and all that shit. So now I gotta buy this motherfucker Oculus Rift.
uh,
If you have COVID, you don't need a
he's
fucking VR. Jesus Christ.
no. You have to get him the actual one. Like I've had played with both. I know people that have both, and it can't compare to VR. You need to get an Oculus Rift, and plus it's its own system, so you don't have to mess about with having a PlayStation, all that other jazz.
Yeah, and not to joke about COVID, right? COVID, there were 12 fucking times over the course of the last month since August 14. Well, 17 when I tested. Um, yeah, it's been hell. There were 12 times where I was like, you know what? Just if my wife and kids found my body, which they eventually would, just to make it clean. No fucking pus out my fucking mouth, no bleeding out of my mouth, not crazy look in my fucking eyes. Couldn't do
No, you would have
anything about
shit
the fucking
yourself.
COVID here.
Just,
Yeah. So I'm not trying to make light of it, but theoretically speaking, should I have succumbed to COVID, like unfortunately many have, I'm lucky. I got fucking survivor's guilt like a motherfucker. But theoretically, if I had died, I would think that I get off the hook from buying an Oculus Rift. Fuck.
no,
Son of a bitch.
it'll come out of your insurance.
AMC to the moon then. Fucking A. Jesus. Jesus. To the fucking moon.
It'll come out of your insurance.
That's like as much as most people's first car payment. It's like 400 US. That's definitely a beater. That's something that you should put on Pimp My Ride for them to pimp out.
That's how much you paid for your first car? All right, I feel like.
Yeah. And that's for the boot, like that's for the like the top of the line, whatever. And it was literally because I was prepared to risk $500, and then when I went on the particular sites, and they were like, "Oh, 400," but then the fucking the lowball version is like 199 or 250, and I was like, that's $150, and if you're already there, you might as well get some fucking extra storage space. I don't know what the fucking storage. It's a virtual reality. Why the fuck do you want to store it?
Because you need to remember the good times.
Doesn't make none of this shit makes any sense to me. None of it.
Have you not watched Ready Player One yet? That's what you need. Watch Ready Player One, and then you will understand why everybody needs an Oculus Rift.
Well,
Everyone.
Guess what? If Ern R. Shyster is watching right now, and I know he is, right? I'm reporting it to the IRS that I'm writing this some bitch off because the amount of content that I'm going to get, the amount of time he's going to walk into the walls or cause my wife an anxiety attack. Say, Mama, you try. Oh, yeah. I'll probably get whacked in the nuts.
You'll be
Like
fine.
multiple times by one of those Joy-Con fucking things. So, yes.
No, because it's an amazing experience. Like one of my friends has the entire the whole kit, the bodysuit, the finger guard things, like everything. So you're basically engulfed in it completely. It's not just the actual headset, and it's like if I could physically just live in an Oculus Rift for the rest of my life, I probably would. So I'm on your son's side here.
Well, you want to know something wild, right? So, I liked LeVar Burton on Star Trek. I couldn't tell you what the fuck else happened on Star Trek Next Generation. But I was like, guess what? Two of us made it. One's a fucking Klingon that looks like he has a fucking brain on his fucking head,
Oh, hello.
and then the other is LeVar Burton with a fucking visor. So anytime my sister had one of the, or my mom would have one of those hair bands or whatever, I was put it out over my eyes and I fucking walked into walls and shit like that. I pissed a lot of people off. I almost walked off the fucking the pier at Pier 39 in San Francisco. But I was like, hey, fucks. Like, two of us made it. Two of us made it. Like, that was a big thing. So I was like, yeah. So I think this Oculus Rift, I mean, we're supposed to have, theoretically speaking, right? What, what is it? Back to the Future, one of my favorite movies, right?
Yes, we're supposed to have.
It was set
Where
three
is my
years
hover
ago.
car? Where is my hoverboard? Where is my hover car? Where is my little laser thing? Where is everything? Like, you lied to me. Lied to me, McFly. I'm done.
Yeah. So again, we don't, for those keeping count, we don't have flying cars.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in the next generation floating through space. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a couple fucking billionaires have already fucking cruised the Earth's atmosphere. So basically, they Buffalo Bob, where it's like, Buffalo Bob, the serial killer, puts the lotion on the skin and wears it, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, Jeff Bezos, what's his name, Richard Branson, maybe one other person, right? They basically put the lotion on the skin that is the Earth's atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's what we got. And we got VR shit and TikTok. That's
Yeah,
a,
we did get TikTok.
I don't
And
know who
4K
got the fucking
cameras,
bum end of
look.
the stick.
And 4K cameras, look. It looks like I'm right there.
No,
It looks like I'm really no. No, that's not impressive.
I don't know.
Do you not remember your grainy phone? This is not impressive to you. Or when your phone
I mean,
just made a
I think
phone
the
call.
third person is Elon, right? So Elon, Branson, Bezos, right? Fucking billionaires went to the. They basically, they basically honeydick space. That's what they did. They teased space. Like, we're going to space. And like, oh, they're down already? What the fuck is this? Like, we still saw them. The fuck? Like the former president, the orange guy, the fucking WWE Hall of Famer. Here's an
The
eclipse.
orange guy.
Don't look at the sun.
The orange guy. The orange guy. The orange
Yeah.
guy.
Because us Yanks, we've been fucking shit up since 1776. Yeah.
That's
When we
your
split
fault.
away from you guys, but to judge our talent show, there's almost no Americans.
Yeah, but
There's
that's remember
almost no
how bad.
Americans.
Yeah, but remember how badly us British like to take over stuff most of the time. Mine. We're like that. No, I'm not
I
gonna do
mean,
that.
do you guys have American judges for your guys' talent shows?
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, we do. And the thing is, what annoys me, this is coming from a wrestling point of view. We always put over Americans and make Americans look better than our own homegrown talent. It's one of my pet peeves about Brett Rest.
Why? You guys have the class and the cool accents and shit like that. Like having going back to the American type of deal. That's almost like taking a shit and looking at it. Like I thought you would have expelled that from your guys' fucking political body.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, we're completely happy to go overseas and do exactly what needs to be done. But when we're in our own homegrown town, you literally set your homegrown talent on fire. Oh look, but what's over there?
yeah, man. I wish Boris Johnson was on U.S. soil so I can fucking have a word with him. Oh wait, he was talking to the dementia guy who has the fucking codes to the nukes and shit like that. Hey, just so you guys know, I
Don't,
voted. I didn't fight for the orange guy or the dementia guy. Which, if you
don't.
have dementia, please get help.
That
Like
gives me the
that's
fear all the time. Don't tell me that though.
look at the weirdos that we are, right? Like if you're like, oh, 70, I'm fucking up his age. You know me. I'm shit at numbers, right? Well, it's like, oh, hey, like 78-year-old person working at Walmart. You'd be like, oh, something fucked up. Like whatever,
What did you do?
right? But that's a person that is like waving. That's handing you a flyer of the sales. Maybe a checker, right? That has to call somebody over. That if you got a 30-pound bag of dog food, because that's what we have here, 30-pound bags of dog food here in the states. The fuck ass dog gonna eat all of that? I don't know. A fucking chinchilla? I don't know. But anywho, yeah, like they have to call somebody over to fucking lift the fucking 45-pound bag. Yeah, it increased in weight. 45-pound bag of fucking dog food and whatever. When you're 78 with scoliosis, fucking checking
Uh,
out fucking shit at Walmart. We're not like, oh, 78-year-old dude or man or transgender or them, they, him, her, quasi-lateral, something or other, right? But we're not like, oh, run the Walmart, floor manage the Walmart, vice president of the Walmart, CEO of the Walmart. No, but that's Walmart. It's a private company. The public fucking thing. You might have the oldest fucking guy that's been in that seat ever.
I've only been to Walmart once. One time.
Oh, oh god.
You
They
guys
both
sell
have comb
guns there,
overs.
don't you?
The,
They sell
the
guns in
current
Walmart.
guy and then the former guy both have comb overs. Horrible. So bad. Yeah, so bad. Exclusive teas. According to what's coming to TikTok, I'm already there.
I think you should.
I can't figure that shit out. Yeah, it's
I
according
would.
to what's. I've posted some shit. I really should focus more on it, but I've got the TikTok and I got the Talk Tick and the Chat Snap and the Book of Faces and the Tube of You and the fucking gram of instant gratification. So there's
The
that.
two of you. The two of you.
Yeah, I'm there. There.
You're
Yeah.
down with the kids. Yeah,
Uh,
he's trying.
yeah. I mean, shoot a follow or not. I don't care. Subscribe to the podcast or not. No. Fucking A. You know, 485 podcasts in over a year hasn't convinced you already. There's not much I can fucking do. I'm okay. It's fine. It's all right. I'm sorry. Actually, I kind of, I think I've done almost close to 1,000 hours of original live content since July 1st. I've got this show. I got Voodoo in the Woods, that's about 80 episodes deep. We've done 3 or 4 months of these, aside from the month that I was having COVID, which I almost fucking try to do the show, and you're like, no, you're
No.
sickly. Fuck off. You know?
He didn't swear. That's a lie. He's
Yeah, I
lying.
mean,
I only
and people
swear for
could
Warner
be like,
Brothers.
oh my god, you're faking it. Right on, yeah. I'm not that great of an actor. I live in LA. I've never acted in anything. Jesus Christ. I've been in like 3 commercials, which I've just done myself. Like, one, I'm a broke motherfucker, which that wasn't too far of a stretch. Buying a car from USA Auto Loans, okay? And then the other one, I played a doctor. Played a doctor in a commercial that I still haven't seen but I played myself as a doctor. There's a
For
lot
what
of shit
was it?
that got cut on the cutting room floor, but me poking people with sticks and shit and running around the room with a scalpel with like millions of dollars worth of equipment.
Because we should always give you sharp objects, because that's a smart idea.
Yeah, it was done at a real fucking like surgery center. Yeah. So yeah. And hey yo, says Alan Roque. Uh Happy birthday to you, good sir. I hope you're
Happy
convalescing well.
birthday!
The fucking car crash and whatever. That sucked. Being in a car crash myself, it sucks. I'm glad you're on the mend. And yep, yeah, there you are. Loco Lobo says Dr. Wood sounds nice to me. Not to me, because you gotta fucking study for that shit. Because they're like, oh, what is this fucking whatever? I was like, I ad lib. I was like, I don't know, fucking knee. But it could be something in your brain. And I'd be like, your knee. That's
I'm
where.
gonna give you a eyelash
Yeah.
transplant, and you're cutting off the side of their nose.
It'd be like
How
something
did you
about
do
your
in
optic
biology?
nerve. I'd be like, there's something in your giblets that probably isn't right.
I don't think humans have giblets. You
Okay.
sure you don't want to?
So, thanks, LOL. No, 100%. And he says Ganoerophilosis. I think that's a Nancy Pelosi joke, but she's a horrible person. Also, the guy before in the president person is a horrible
Have I
person,
missed
and the guy that's
something?
there now, horrible person. Or if you don't think he's a horrible person, well, his son doing heroin off of or and cocaine off of hookers' asses, like literally their asshole. Maybe in some circles, like I don't think he'll be accepted in Utah. Is what I'm saying.
Did I miss something? Have I?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, he says Ganoerophilosis, right? I go, uh, you're welcome. I actually go, what is it? Uh, con- oh, what is it? Anal gingivitis? OMG. Yeah, yeah. Anal gingivitis. That's a thing. Yeah.
Just no.
Um,
Just
yeah. So
no.
that's that.
No.
So I think we should crescendo. One of the, you're a wrestler, and there's a lot of things. It seems like every week there's something new,
I can't
right?
get anal gingivitis out of my head. Wait, 2 seconds. Just give
That's
me
a
a
segue.
minute.
It's a fucking great segue.
All right. Now
But
we can begin.
one thing that to me is hand and feet, hand above all else, better is the fact that Owen Hart is all elite.
So
I
beautiful.
cannot believe I'm saying that. That to me, it was like Tony Khan and Dr. Martha Hart talking about doctors, right? It was like they were speaking to me. My son's name is Owen. He was one of my favorite wrestlers. The fact that WrestleMania 10 is my favorite WrestleMania is because it was a Hart WrestleMania. Arguably in the greatest opening match in WrestleMania history, we get a classic from Brett and Owen. Owen cuts a promo with Todd Pittengill with a fucking loogie hanging out the side of his mouth, right? And they do the whole thing. They concisely, right? So Owen beats Brett, right? But also Brett still has this kind of thing looming overhead that, him and Lex Luger at the previous Royal Rumble, right? They went over at the same time. It's debatable if that actually happened, but that was the storyline, right? Yeah. No, Batista and Cena and Vince blowing his quads, that was at the same time. That was not planned, right? So that's it. But again, storyline purposes, him and Lex went over, right? So they both had Mania matches with the champion, Yokozuna, right? So Lex faced Yoko, right? And they did a beautiful thing because Lex Luger had the bionic plate in his in his bicep or whatever the fuck, right? So every time he would hit you with that damn clothesline, oh, you went down. And Yoko fucking tumbled out of the ring and whatever. It was a count out. It was a win for Luger, but it was count out, right? So then you got Brett and you got Yoko. Say what you will about the match. Okay. Brett was my favorite wrestler. Yokozuna was my mom's favorite wrestler. Because I'd be like, he's Japanese, Mom. And she'd be like, no, he's Samoan. He looks like 8 of your cousins. What the fuck are you even talking about? I was like, what, Mr. Fuji? I was like, he's from Hawaii. Bitch. Damn it, Mom. Damn you. Damn you.
It's like, well, what about Roddy Piper? He's Canadian.
Yeah. You got, Brett and Yoko. Brett wins. I'm not spoiling anything. This shit is like 25 years old. If you haven't seen it yet, fuck it. I don't know. I got nothing for you. So yeah, that happens, and everybody comes out. The Steiner brothers, fucking Razor Ramon, Razor Ramon, and this NHL. Yeah. So, no. He actually killed a man in Florida. So.
Yeah, but he told us that like 10 years
That was
ago.
way before he went onto the pantheons of wrestling history. So.
He did tell us 10 years ago.
None of this shit makes sense to me. But Piper is the fucking referee for the match, right? And he's there. And I think Bob Holly and Tatanka also round out the bunch, right? And here comes Owen out of that cool little WrestleMania X tunnel. And it looks like he's going to reconcile with his brother. And then he just fucking disgusted. And that is the artisanship, the craftsmanship of one Owen James Hart, who tragically we lost. Hell, he and I share the same birthday of May 7th. He was a little bit before me, obviously, but when he ended up passing away, it was in his fucking birthday month. Right? Listen, watch or read Dr. Martha Hart's book on how he passed away. He was naked in socks in a random Kansas City fucking medical facility or ER. That's how he died. That was his last moments alive. Right? Even, we've got Scott Hall kills a guy. Owen Hart, in his final moments, saved Jimmy Corderas' life, who was a referee. I was clearing debris. Yeah. So yeah. By all intents and purposes, even before, you got to remember, Dr. Martha Hart and Owen Hart were high school sweethearts, right? Like, they've known each other since they were like 14, 15, 16, somewhere around there, right? She always hated wrestling. She always hated wrestling. She always hated the fact that Owen had to do wrestling. Now, obviously, the spoils that came, right? At the time of his death, they're building their dream house in Calgary. Hopefully, Dr. Martha and the kids, Oj and Athena, were able to move into said house, or they sold it. That's their fucking business, right? But for her and Owen Hart's Foundation, right? For years, everybody had, like, when's Owen going into the Hall of Fame? When can I play him in fucking WWE 2K, whatever the fuck, right? When are we going to get a new action figure that isn't from 1997? Okay? And again, and I totally understand where she's coming from. You stole her husband. You stole her kid's father. And all you do is drag your fucking heels and give a settlement. Yes, it was the tens of millions. Some would even argue maybe 100 million. That still doesn't replace him. All right? So the fact that she's partnering with a pro wrestling company in this day and age, and this is a full thing, like, we're going to get an Owen Hart tournament We're getting Owen Hart in the upcoming debut AEW video game. We'll probably even get him in the fucking downloadable, multiple, fucking AEW GM game. Punk and Danielson are already there, right? There's going to be merch. I have a couple of the pro wrestling tees, you know, shirts because I support it, you know. But Owen Hart, I mean, finally, I wouldn't say finally, but Dr. Martha Hart has not only left her husband and left her husband's legacy, made more grandeur approaches to preserving that legacy and helping people around the world, building water wells in war-torn countries and giving people in Calgary scholarships and housing developments and paying for rent and all that stuff. And if you guys want him to go into the WWE Hall of Fame, I kind of say fuck you. Dr. Martha would never say it, but you guys who are clamoring for it, fuck off, like all of the way off. They killed Owen. Vince killed Owen. And if it wasn't Vince McMahon, it was Vince Russo. Right? Yep. What a good person. 100%. Right? So with that all being said, the fact that the Hart family is on board, check this out. Let me just do a little statistics, right? David Arquette, for all the shit that he gets, right, for being WCW champion, the time that, I mean, he was in arguably the biggest movie at the time in Scream, right? Married to Courtney Cox from Friends, right? So he wasn't hurting for money. He donates his entire WCW salary to the widows of Brian Pillman Sr. and Owen Hart. Okay? I mean, judging on what we've found out about Ric Flair, who's had the world title 16 times, but we always knew that about Flair, right? So, just saying, don't get all outraged now. You should have been outraged since the very beginning. I always like Nick Bockwinkel in place of Flair, so it doesn't hurt me one iota, all right? So, with that all being said, right, obviously, Brian Pillman's widow, Melanie, didn't do right with it, right? But Dr. Martha Hart has. Where's Brian Pillman Jr.? Oh, AEW, right? Contracted talent, okay? One, I don't care if you call him Luke Harper, Brody Lee, but John fucking Huber, who's an actual person who left a wife and kids behind because he had an undiagnosed lung condition, right? They kept it secret, and that's one of the genesis of Punk coming over. This happened at the end of the summer last year. Soon after, he did the fucking dog collar match with Cody. Soon, like literally, he does a fucking podcast, the Unrestricted podcast, with Aubrey Edwards and Tony Schiavone. 2 days later, that's when the whole story about the Peloton and passing out and he never recovers. Right? Huber's son's got a lifetime deal. They perpetually help the family. Also, kept it close to the vest. That's also one of the reasons we're finding out now, and not to get into the personal shit, why Wyndham Rotunda took so much time off. And it ultimately led to his future endeavoring. Because the guys of the New Day, Tony Khan, and Wyndham Rotunda, better known as The Fiend or Bray Wyatt, aside from Amanda and their immediate family, Amanda, John's widow, and the immediate family, not even his kids knew. They kept it secret. That tells you everything you need to know about that company. Now you've got Owen. Again, Dr. Martha Hart never liked wrestling. She's coming around now. and you should support her, it, John Huber's family, Brian Pillman's family, Owen Hart's family. And that's not to say don't watch Ring of Honor, don't watch WWE, don't watch whatever the fuck you are watching right now. But this shows you the kind of je ne sais quoi of what AEW and Tony Khan and the Khan family are bringing to the table. Wrestling 2 nights a week. That was something that was said could never be done. Arthur Ashe Stadium, one of the best cards I've seen on free TV, top to bottom. They're not taking your signs. I saw MJF is a cuck. Urban Dictionary, that one, folks. You know? Wrestlers can curse. They can be themselves. They can work the matches that they were taught, and that the veteranship of anything that they've ever done up until that point that garnered them a contract with one of the major companies, if not two of the major companies, you let them go. And look what's happening. Now, of course, it wasn't always great, right? It wasn't always great. The Dark Order debacle. I love Butcher and the Blade, but their introduction was Jim Ross. Who's that? Butcher. Who's that? Blade. Who's she? Bunny. Now, you might have known Andy Williams from his band. You might have known the Blade from Impact Wrestling and Alley from Impact Wrestling. But they weren't called Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. So the context wasn't there. I can't stand Sammy Guevara. I don't think you can pay me enough to watch a fucking Sammy Guevara match or segment because of the things he's done and said. And I do and say a lot of dumb shit, but like one line over is what I'm saying. And I'm not placing fucking judgment on him, whatever. But he's just not my cup of tea. He wasn't my cup of tea before I found out he said those things. Still not my cup of tea now. So with that all being said, but he also is with AEW. So by supporting AEW, theoretically, I'm supporting him. Right? But guess what? Chances are, all of your heroes might lean politically different, might be religiously different, or not at all. Right? Happens. It's you, ultimately you, who's going to make the judgment call whether you patron or you know. You know, there's people that we lost from the Attitude Era that'll never return. Don't care who's on the fucking card. But the ones that do come back, those are the ones that you're paying for the pay-per-views. Right? Also the diehards. You know? Doesn't matter if you've been watching 15 years or 15 months. You pay the same amount for the pay-per-view or the streaming subscriptions. Same. And just all that. And Alan, it feels like he fell into the underworld of According to Woods.
He's in a dark place, yes.
Go for it. But your reaction to Owen Hart being all elite?
Like I said to you, it's just nice to finally see him get the recognition that he deserves. Whether what company it's done for, as a wrestler, I'm going to play the political card and go, I'm just glad it's done. And because Martha has been the primary spokesperson for his name, for his legacy, and his family for this whole time, she should be the only person who kind of negotiates on any kind of deal when it comes to do with his life, because she's the one after all of this that has had to basically have the brunt of it. And as a woman, I'm going to say that too. She's the only person who deserves any part of her legacy, him and his family. her. So she's done it the right way.
Yeah. I just, again, I'm gonna get that fucking Owen Hart action figure. I'm gonna buy that fucking video game. I'm going to rejoice in the fact that it's
You're
not a
gonna go
dirty
to the
little secret.
tournament.
Like I felt dirty if I watched any WWE content with Owen on it. I really did. Again, like I said, WrestleMania 10 is my favorite WrestleMania, and Owen is a large part of it. He's one half the reason why I love it so much. But if I catch it, I'm not going on the WWE network. I'm not going on Peacock. If I watch any Owen Hart content, I'm not paying for it. I'm not going to be behind a paywall. I'd rather somebody else get the view. Right? That's how you can really, fashion your bargaining power. Right? Is with your patronage. So I have not and will not watch Owen Hart on any of the WWE approved channels. I'm done with the narrative that the UFC, right, buying a fucking $90 pay per view plus $9 for UFC Fight Pass a month, and then $7.99 for ESPN Plus every month. If the fighters are getting paid the same, then they can't wear their sponsors. They have to wear UFC sponsorship. Well, that narrative that it all goes to the fucking talent doesn't. I bought the Usos first shirt, only to find out none of it went to them. The one with the faces, the face paint, and it's face to face. Yeah, I bought one. When I found out it didn't, and I also might have gotten into words with one of them, uh, I tossed the shirt away. Yeah, that's principle. I believe in principle. So again, total disclosure, I am over the moon. I can't wait to the fucking Owen Hart Cup. I'm watching all of AEW, like especially over the last month or so for me. I've fallen asleep to AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, and I say fall asleep is because pro wrestling is soothing to me. That's my life, soothing to me. It's like a lullaby. The world can feel scary, and you go to fucking pro wrestling, and it's an escape.
Mm-hmm.
I go to sleep to AEW, and I wake up to AEW, which for the last month I couldn't be around my family, my wife and kids. They're in the other rooms. I couldn't be around them. To fucking calm my fucking, I don't know, psychosis and shit like that. AEW was there for me. It's easier to find on YouTube than WWE content on the shit that I'm paying for.
That's also very true.
Yeah. So shout out there. Which did you catch any of it?
Any of the any of
The
what?
AEW?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm like you. Like
Oh,
I fall
it's a great
asleep to
show.
wrestling. I'm
If you
just
get
like,
if you get it,
like
just watch it. It is top to bottom one of the best wrestling shows that I've seen. Uh, it leaves the audience wanting more, which is the mark of a true performer, right? In pro wrestling, it's drawing money, right? For those who don't know, pro wrestling used to be just a few, no, just 100 years ago, used to be an actual contest, almost like jujitsu, right? Jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling, what have you, right? And I think it was the Gold Dust Trio, right, that protected Ed Strangler Lewis, at least here in the States. I don't know the story over where you are in the UK, but Ed Strangler Lewis, he came along with the Gold Dust Trio, and it was like three other wrestlers who were the policemen, right? Policemen means you want to get to the fucking Ed Strangler Lewis in a world title shot, you have to get through us. And they would beat the fuck out of you. And if you survived all three of them, you got your chance at Ed Strangler Lewis, which might as well fucking put your head in the alligator's mouth, run in traffic, Like, just,
While the alligator
yeah,
is there or
I'd
afterwards.
recommend that than a fucking prime Ed Strangle Lewis, whose house, or at least the house that he rented, that he entertained Marilyn Monroe and all that shit. That's maybe about 10 minutes away from my house. It's one of the cool things. And wait, about 3 minutes away from my house is where he actually had his diner. Ed Strangle Lewis, up until the day he died, had a diner here in Glendale, California. So, with that all being said, it's just like fucking cool, man. Fucking cool. But yeah, so Gold Dust Trio, they were like, it might have been them, but it also could have been, um, I want to say Gotch, right? Frank Gotch and George Hackenschmidt, right? Where they were like, hey, crowds are waiting because they don't want to see us wrestle for fucking 3 hours, which is what was happening. You take the win tonight. Next week, different arena, I take the win. Then third night with a large build, and we have it 1-1. Who gives a shit? Let's go wrestle. But we drew three different fucking houses, right? Well, here in the U.S., right? Banning of alcohol. Well, it gave birth to organized crime, right? So what?
Naughty.
Yeah. So what they did essentially was, if MMA fight fans hate pro wrestling because it's fake, I don't say fake. It's predetermined, right? You tell Suzuki it's fake, he'll cause Enemy Ray your fucking ass. Tell Ayesha Raymond it's fake. Again, go play out in traffic on the expressway. You know, hell me, and I don't beat the shit out of anybody, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll be knocking, but I digress. So, with that all being said, like, I don't know, this thing is wonderful when it's done right, right? And the fact that we didn't see a Brian Danielson the way that he was meant to be seen, like a Ring of Honor deal, right? They fucked up AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura at Mania. I'm pissed. Personally, I'm pissed. That hurt me. It really did. It was like Canelo and Triple G. It was like Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, where I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with boxing. Can't do it anymore. I don't have the wherewithal to fucking stick it in. You know, Roman Reigns. First I was like, he's the least talented member of the Shield, right? Ambrose or Mox, to me, was the most talented. I wanted that fucking feud between Regal and Mick Foley, to kind of send them into the fucking twilight of their career, and it didn't happen. You know why? Because WWE never gives us what we want. They've told us time and time again over the last 2 decades, but also want us to be a star when they bully and harbor bullies like JBL and Shawn Michaels, which again, I can't wait. If you guys are at Ric Flair now, go after HBK. That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. I think he's a shit person. You know?
He's
Yeah.
just waiting for the
I'm not
comment
saying he's a
section now.
shit
It's like, come
wrestler.
at me.
He's a shit person. Always has been, always will be. Ted DiBiase started a ministry, extorted somewhere near or over $75,000. Yeah, it's all public record, folks. Just saying. So believe in yourself. If you believe in people, and if you want to fucking buy, you know, merch and shit, do it. Awesome, great. But also fucking make a design. Go on Fiverr. On Fiverr for $10. Make a design. Put it on a shirt. Cost you another $15. Well, if Roots of Fight and they make cool shit, I've got a couple fucking shorts and t-shirts from them. They're going $75 a pop. surely you can spend $30 putting your face or whatever saying that you want on a T-shirt for you to wear. Believe in yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Nice little spiritual message from Woods. Good, thank you.
I know it got kind of dark, but I
No,
was
I know.
like,
I was just like,
let's light this sun
this is
dish up.
my happy place.
Happy place, happy place. Oh, I'm drinking out of a Lego Movie fucking
It's
cup.
like, what is that?
It's great.
Why?
I went to Legoland by far. Like we took my son for his birthday, yeah, 2 years ago, right before COVID, in Carlsbad, right outside of San Diego, California. Oh, yeah, it was for him. But that shit, I was just as fucking geeky. Well, I
Bless
knew that
you.
was coming. Damn it. Yes. Thank you. But yeah, I was just as geeky as he was. He was showing me like Eddie, Eddie, and I was like, on, whatever. And then my poor wife and Owen's friend that we brought along, I mean, love her like my niece, and they were just like, because she had already been there. My wife was just like, yeah, cool. Like,
I
how
did
much
this
money are you spending? What?
everything.
Yeah, that was my wife. She's good. She's really good at shit like that. So I leave it to her. And if I get a rolled eyes, the rest of my day is fucked because I just know I fucked up and I'm probably gonna get a talk.
Oh.
Kind of like after this episode of the podcast, she appeared in my window and said, "What the fuck did you say?" And I was like, "Sorry."
What did you say? Oh no, was it the
She's my
ginger? No, it's
compass. She's my moral compass. I kind of, I kind of never did, but also after my parents died, what little of a compass I had, the little fucking arrow just fucking broke the fuck off. I don't give a shit what due north is, and then especially after COVID. Well, yeah, so
he thinks he's untouchable. Everyone, I'm scared now. That's a dangerous man.
which by the way, do you have a favorite wrestler right now outside of yourself? Who is your
No, I was
favorite
gonna
wrestler?
say me. Who's my favorite
Or do you
wrestler
have
right
some
now?
favorites?
Oh, my Nana Takahashi will always be one of my favorite wrestlers. Hiroyo Matsumoto. Every Japanese Joshi wrestler that's working right now are my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. I like it. Um, I I almost feel and I wish and I hope that Vince McMahon doesn't know that NXT UK exists.
Why?
Yeah, because if they do, that shit will be magenta, the logo. You're gonna have fuck. You know what? Scotty Tahati will unretire and he'll be NXT UK champion. That's Vince.
Why?
ECW, whatever. Matt Hardy, Christian, and Mark Henry, Chavo
Yeah,
Guerrero, Big Show.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So NXT again. I hope and pray every day that Vince doesn't know that NXT UK exists. Leave it alone. Like Chris Crocker was like, leave Britney alone. Vince, actually, you never heard this because for you to hear this, you're gonna be like, "God damn, pal." And NXT UK, I didn't even know that fucking existed. That's good shit, pal. Let's do it. Brucey, go over to fucking London.
No. No, you say that like he's going to be checking an expense report one day and see everything that they've spent money on. And it's going to get down to NXT, United Kingdom. What's that? And he researches what it is, and then he flies to London. He's going to see it in a tax report. Like, okay, what is your quarterly? When do they do your taxes?
Yeah. Vince's NXT is Scotty 2 Hottie unretires. Chad Gable, Chad Gable as Shorty G with Natalia's fart gimmick will become the Heritage Cup champion. Eva Marie becomes women's champion, and the Viking War Raiders or whatever, they'll be tag champs, even though they're not from the UK, even though we haven't seen them in eons, and they will never lose. They will always lose matches, but none of it for the title. They'll have like a 2 year run, not or 2 week run, which is 2 years in today's Vince McMahon ideology, right? But never win a match on TV. If they open up house shows, they'll probably go over to ICW or Progress, defend the titles, and go over because, well, if it's WWE, it's good shit now, right? Can't put anybody else over, right? So again, Scotty Tahati as the NXT UK champion, and he'll go over clean of Walter or Dragunov or whoever the fuck has the title at that point. Yeah, Eva Marie as the women's champion, Viking Raiders as tag champs. And who did I say for Heritage Cup?
I missed it now. Who did I say? Who did you say?
I don't know. It'll be K-Bar. It'll be R-Truth. Fuck it. It'll be R-Truth.
Oh no, don't convince Drew. No, leave him alone. He's a good man.
R-Truth needs a fucking cup, pal.
He's got great genetics. Look at his face.
And you know what they're going to do? Because it's not like Vince is racist. It's not like in a certain Cleveland promo. What did he call John Cena? Right on. 10 points. What? They're going to make the UK Heritage Cup into a chalice, almost like Little John. And R-Truth is going to go along with it because he's one of those non-essential yes men that Vince finds funny that CM Punk was talking about in the Pipeline promo nearly a decade ago.
I should just start watching Teletubbies. I should take up knitting.
I guess I went away from the whole fucking nice and airy.
You're in a dark place. It's okay.
Well, that's my view of today's WWE. I like Kevin Owens. I like Sami Zayn. Or Sami Zayn's favorite wrestler, El Generico. I like Nakamura. I like the style of AJ Styles. Don't like much else about one Alan Jones. You don't have to dig too far. Don't have to dig too far. And it's laughable that people were like, oh, AJ will get because there's a particular homophobic slur that he uses on a promo from a few years back, right? And people are like, wait until he gets to the WWE. Shawn Michaels will straighten him out. Jericho will straighten him out. And we found out since that those two feel just the same way.
Why can't we all just get along? Why can't we all just get along? Everybody just be happy. Everybody just...
Do you have a favorite WWE official?
My favorite WWE official is a controversial subject at the moment.
And why?
JR. He's the voice of my childhood. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm like, don't cancel me. And it's my birthday tomorrow, so everybody be nice. Like, he's the voice of my childhood. I'm sorry. I just don't. He's the voice of my childhood. No?
I like it. My favorite WWE official, actually, it's two. It's Gorilla Monsoon and Jack Tunney.
Okay. Why?
Why? Whenever fucking Jack Tunney appeared on your fucking screen, shit was about to go down. That was the contract signing between Hogan and Andre for Mania 3, right? The fucking Mania 8 with Hogan and Warrior that they could never fight again because of tortoise injury. I don't fucking know what the fuck that is. Like his lumbar got checked and whatever, so they could never fight again. It's like, okay, cool. But it made believable sense, right? And then with Monsoon, fuck yeah. Look at how much he sold out of the fucking Vader bomb. Like,
Yeah.
that was awesome. And then around the same time, I believe, within a year or two, Nick Bockwinkel becomes the commissioner of WCW. Oh man, I would have loved to see fucking Gorilla Monsoon versus Nick Bockwinkel in their prime for the control of both WWF and WCW.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where I'm at. Fuck yes. So, great show, brother. Appreciate you. Um, so
I was trying to look at the
any
picture. I was trying...
oh, and all this shit is cathartic to me. But yeah. So you got any plugs or anything to add?
Plugs from me? No, I've got nothing to add apart from I wish the world of wrestling would stop burning to the ground, and can we all just like get along, please, please? That's it. That's it.
All right, hell yes, go ahead and follow her. And she also has a pro wrestling T-shirt store, so you definitely want to check her out at such places because money's always nice, right?
Money is
I think
nice.
so.
At
Yeah,
BigFemVader, money is nice. It
yeah,
is very nice.
absolutely. I side with Danhausen with like more teeth, more money, very evil. There you go. So yeah, and then I guess for me, according to Woods across the board, like, share, and subscribe to this podcast and all the jazz. Oh, I guess I can let the cat out of the bag, but at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today, assuming nothing fucks up and I fall asleep or somebody might have something to do, but if everything aligns, I will return to the After 83 Weeks podcast with Chrissy Olsen, Steve Kaufman, and one Eric Bischoff. Yep, that's happening today, folks. So, yeah, do that. And I might. Oh, I got another negative COVID test. So I'm going to clean this pigsty of a room that I made. All right, and I'm going to be. This might be the last podcast that I do from not in my studio. I will be making my return to the studio on Eric Bischoff's podcast later today, and then later on Voodoo in the Woods about 11 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you guys work out the fucking time difference yourselves because I don't have the brain chip. I'm the worst fucking promoter ever. It's like
83 weeks, hire
subscribe or
me
not,
instead.
whatever the fuck. I love you still. Go and be awesome. That's what I
He is awesome.
go be awesome.
Okay, bye.
Fuck yes. Hell yes. So yeah, if you want I mean Ayesha Raymond at this point of the game, she's subscribed to the podcast. I am, because I want myself to succeed,
You should too.
but also the shit that I say might not, it might directly negate exactly those wishes, but I digress. But go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, and if you don't believe me, or Mae Young Classic first round competitor, BigFemVader Ayesha Raymond, or maybe another Mae Young Classic alum in Zeta Zang can convince you.
Hey, this is Zeta Zane.